Let's move. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Moving with Skinny. Today we're here in Johannesburg at the Discovery Park, I think, or Discovery Club. I'll be having an interview with Lara. So before we even start, this is the owner of Kinetic Speedbands, and yeah. So hi, Lara. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having
Just
me.
give us an intro. Who are you? Where are you based? And what do you do?
All right, based in Johannesburg, but we are, our product is used nationwide by a lot of our rugby players, our track and field athletes, our hockey players, and now currently a few soccer players.
Okay.
So we're based in Johannesburg, and we have our main demo of our products is run out of PSE based in Centurion, and we're affiliated with CARA, which is the Centurion Rugby Academy. So the bands are used quite nicely there. We have a showroom set up within their gym, so anybody that's interested in the product can go through to Centurion, or we'll come and do a demo for them across Joburg. Yeah.
Okay. As an owner of speed and agility equipment, what is speed to you?
All right, so when MIM started, obviously I'm quite passionate about rugby, and having had a nephew play for Kes first team, I saw a little gap in the market with regards to your rugby players rehabilitating themselves, recovering from knee injuries, and that's pretty much how the products came to be. With a lot of the players, unfortunately, those hip flexors, those deep transverse abdominal muscles, those type of things weren't being concentrated on. So as much as speed is vital to me, it's important that we equip our players and our athletes to be able to produce to their full potential with regards to speed and agility. So pretty much the band focus a lot on your hip flexors and strengthening those muscles. Yeah.
Okay. So for you, speed is taking care of the small parts, small
Yes.
movements, and then
Definitely.
that's a different one. So you've already answered how did the business start. So what I'll ask then, why me in motion?
So before the products were even brought in, I qualified as a personal trainer, and we had to come up with a company name for a thesis that we had to submit, and obviously the words "me in motion," it was just me in motion. What am I doing? Not limited to a gym. We had to think out of the box. How do we use the products to go outside of a gym environment and be creative with it? So it was just creating some form of motion within yourself and allowing you to think. I mean, we use, for example, the ankle cuff bands, which are known as ankle cuff bands, but during lockdown, myself and Roscoe did a little bit of an upper body movement with the ankle cuff, attaching it around the wrist. So it's just being creative. You got to think out of the box and evolve.
Okay, and let's get more questions with the product. Like how can athletes get the bands? How much are they like?
So we do have a product catalog. The idea is we don't share the products. So in other words, myself and you are using the same set of speed bands. It's not going to work. Your leg drive is stronger than mine. Your hips are stronger than mine. So the idea behind each product, these ankle cuff bands are generally, those can be shared.
Okay.
But we're talking more the speed bands. So a set of a complete set of speed bands with the straps and all your resistance bands, that's 550 Rand.
Okay.
And then we encourage athletes to purchase their own, because obviously during COVID, and not being able to train in a group environment, you have coaches that are going to be able to put programs together. So how do we educate? Let's give the right tools, and then we work very closely with the strength and conditioning coaches so that they can design their program specifically to a player's position or an athlete's position.
Speed, well, is your product for everyone? Because
Yeah.
I feel like that's another thing that people are missing. They think Speedbands, well, your product is simply made for rugby athletes. Is that wrong? Is that right?
It's kind of how I used to think, that
Okay.
rugby was pretty much anything and everything. However, because of the versatility of the product, it is beneficial to your track and field athletes, your soccer players, your rugby players, your swimmers, your hockey players. We've got a fantastic hockey ambassador who's the captain of the SA hockey team who uses the bands. He's attached it to a hockey stick, and that, I mean, there's some brilliant drills that you can see on the Instagram account. But there's just so much versatility, and we're constantly trying to evolve the product.
Okay.
So if you're with an athlete and you say, Lara, is there something that we could do to kind of mimic this kind of movement? Then we look at it, we go back to the factory, and we design it and we develop it.
Okay.
So we're constantly trying to evolve the product, and because of its versatility. So
Okay.
it's not just speed bands. Obviously during lockdown, I had to look at it from a fitness perspective. How would I use the speed bands? How would I use the ankle cuff bands? How would I use the ultimate finisher for an upper body workout, a complete full body workout, leg workout? So there's a lot of versatility within the products.
Okay. And then before I give you your 30 seconds of fame, my last question is, what advice would you give to athletes regarding the product? You know, you deal with soccer players, you deal with rugby players, hockey players, swimmers. Like, what's that one advice you'd give to athletes? Like, just...
Okay, so a lot of mistakes that I've seen, a lot of people look at yourself and who you interview and your athletes. They look at a Roscoe Speckman, a Ruan Nel, a Jesse Creel, and they see them, oh, they've got speed bands. However, though, some of the school athletes that I've had the opportunity to analyze, if your running technique is not correct, we don't go and put a pair of bands on him and fix his running technique.
Yeah.
We fix the running technique first, then we start strengthening the legs, the glutes, the hip flexors. So you could have a young athlete that sees Roscoe Speckman running in bands, but his running style is completely wrong. So my advice is, ask the questions. You've got coaches, you've got strength and conditioning coaches, you've got physios. I never like to go above a physio. I always like to work with them.
Yeah.
If they've introduced some form of band, then I spend a lot of time with athletes, with the physios. I introduce the product and see how the product would benefit an athlete or a rugby player. So my advice is, get to know what the products do first. Ask the questions. I'm open. My WhatsApp is open to questions, training. If I can make a little video, if you could send me a video and I can analyze it and then I give you feedback, that's the best way to be coached, is to get somebody to video and say, how can I fix this? So don't just jump into speed bands because you see your top rugby players and track and field athletes. They've got to be educated on, and the one thing is strength and is vital for speed and power. So yeah, that's my advice. I don't just sell a product. I never have. I'm passionate about seeing athletes on a field, rugby players recovering from sports injuries and knee injuries. And we've been lucky to have some feedback from when it was still around, the King's Academy, where athletes were recovering from ACL within a shortened period of time. And that, I believe, is due to a proper physio using the right products and implementing it correctly.
Okay. And just one last thing, I'm just thinking about it now, since you haven't told us. Your best product right now. Like, just say it. Which one is it for you?
Ankle cuff bands.
Okay. And now, for your 30 seconds of fame, you can
Yes.
say whatever you want. Just go for it.
All right. Okay, guys. Look, there's a lot of resistance bands out there, and I'm passionate about the company. I'm obviously passionate about sport in general, and my passion is to equip you with the right products and educate you with the right products. So WhatsApp, email, get the catalog. Let's see what we can do for you.
And thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks.
Okay, cut it.